Hello, everybody. It is I, Friendly Neighborhood INFP, and welcome to today where I got an interesting thought. Essentially, so I was watching somebody talk about the Truman Show, and that got my gears whirling as it does. And then I began to think, but like, wait a minute, aren't we in our own little Truman shows? Haven't we now, with the creation of YouTube and social media and all these platforms, created our own Truman shows? And it's interesting because, like, The Truman Show is a phenomenal movie. Like, anyone who has not seen it, I highly suggest you do. It is a great movie. And the thing about that was kind of like unsettling about The Truman Show was how this guy's entire life was set to be on camera, was set to be entertainment for all, was set to act out things in a natural. Now, granted, he didn't know about it until later on, but it was still set that everybody was watching his daily life. Now, in some way, shape, or form, we have done that to ourselves on a kind of grander scale, like with Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, YouTube, TikTok, whatever you want to name. We have essentially done that in a kind of smaller yet bigger scale, a more privatized scale, perhaps a more willing scale. And it was interesting because like the movie was like it was a little bit unnerving, a little bit of a psychological thing going on there. And I'm not like I feel like similar psychological things are going on now that were kind of like hinted at in the movie, but I can't quite explain it because words are not coming to me and I'm not adept enough to be able to explain it accurately. But I felt like we, like including myself and a bunch of other people, we have put ourselves on display. Like thrown ourselves into a place where the rest of the world can see us and be like, "Hey guys, check out me." Like you've got like Instagram is another good example. Like, guys, look at how pretty I am. Look at how this. Look at what I'm doing now. Check out my life. Like we have thrown ourselves into our own Truman Show like reality shows that aren't guided by, you know, businesses and all of that. Now, it's interesting because, like, I always wondered why people watched reality shows like Brig, Big Brother and Survival and Bachelor and The Bachelorette, like some kind of low tier brain mush garbage. Um, because there's really I feel like there's not a whole lot of thought in it, and the one that I would kind of give some props to is Survivor, if any of them, due to simply like the things you have to do, and you are in fact in an island and you do have to do all these physical challenges. So okay, sure, there's going to be maybe some benefits there, but like these other ones, it's it's interesting because what I'm trying to say is we have put ourselves in similar situations. We have on YouTube people out in the woods doing survivor type stuff. We have people who like family vlogs. We have people who go about their entire day showing everybody what it is they're doing, like Casey Neistat and Mr. Beast to some extent, but his is more about like helping others. But even then, you got the shows where you go and you help others. Like, we have taken the concepts that we have seen on HGTV, on these other reality shows, on all of this, and it's all very Truman-esque, if one were to go about it. It has a lot of similarities to the Truman Show, and I'm not saying that like we're living in a Truman Show and that everything has been set up and all of that, but I'm saying that once we got access to all these different things, we have willfully put ourselves on display. And whether that be our comments, what we write, what we like. Anything we post essentially is what I'm trying to get at here. And the internet has, by far and large, allowed this to happen, which, is fine. I'm just saying that these things happened. So that got me to question why. Like, is it because we are social creatures? Is it because we crave attention? Is it because we didn't get the right kind of attention? Is it because we like the idea of fame? Is it because of our insecurities? Is it because we want to try and give helpful information to other people? Is it because we want to show other people, whether whatever reason of the things that we're doing? Is it to attract certain types of attention? And why is it to attract that kind of attention? And I feel like this is a rabbit hole that I feel could very easily go way, 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 way down, because there's just so many different possibilities as to why we're putting our lives on display, why families are putting their lives on display. YouTube is a very big proponent of it, but so is Twitch. Like, you got those 24-hour streams where, like, Twitch is a very good example now that I'm thinking about it, like with the 24-hour streams and everything. You literally have people on Twitch who will stream for 24 hours, if not more, eating, sleeping, going about their tasks in the room that they're doing it, and then they'll probably sometimes, I'm not entirely sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they set cameras up in different rooms so that when they go from one room to the next room and you just, with like a press of a button or whatever, it switches to that room. There's that as well. So I'm now going, wait a minute, there was a movie about this, which is essentially what this episode is about. And we have willfully done that. We have willfully done those streams. We have willfully put ourselves on display. And like trying to figure out the psychology behind it of why, and like what they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing. But it's also very volatile, because if you get the fans upset, a bunch of stuff starts happening. Plus, you start entering in a bunch of criticism. And then you start dealing with like your viewpoints are put into question. And then, of course, you've got whatever is going on with today's culture, where they'll shut you down if they don't agree with what you're doing, which is also kind of what they tried to do in the Truman Show, where they tried to shut it down, but wouldn't or couldn't. I'm not entirely sure how it went there, because like when he found out and he's trying to get to that dome place to get out of the makeshift area that he was put in, we have brought ourselves to that place of being both very open and very closed. And psychologically, I'm trying to figure out something. Like, for example, with the people who are good looking, I am not one of them. Maybe when I lose weight, but currently I'm not one of them. With the people who are good looking, like almost model types, or like attractive, like I'm talking people who are like sevens and above here. And so, and this goes for both guys and girls. So those people are putting their stuff on Instagram. Some of them are streaming. Some of them have YouTube channels. Some of them go and do whatever it is they do, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And they're doing it to get that attention, probably, possibly, like, in like, if I were to guess, I'm not saying all of them would be doing it, but like a large majority of them, if I were to guess, it would be due to a level of narcissism. Then you've got the people who want to show the things that they do, and that too is kind of like both, hey, check out this cool thing, a little bit of narcissism, but also wanting to kind of teach people while also showing these cool things. And then, of course, you've got the people who want to teach people, and then you got the people who want to entertain because they're natural entertainers. And it's all a very big, complex thing that, like, if I try to think about it too long, nothing gets done because I'll just be there trying to analyze, psychoanalyze in some cases, why it is that we do what we do. And I just, once again, it came back to the Truman Show and like why everybody was so fascinated by it versus why everybody is fascinated with what's going on today. I don't have an answer for this. Obviously, if I did, I'd be able to spout it out. But, yeah, it was an interesting thought process that I had come to me, and I just wanted to, like, kind of get into, like, a bit of a philosophical, analytical kind of thing and talk about it because, you know, with types and all of that, like, every type will want to do things in a different way, but there's also going to be like negative reasons and positive reasons as to why they want to do that. Some it's for money reasons, some because it's what they love to do. It's really hard to try and pin it down, much like it's very hard to try and pin down a person's identity. But at the end of the day, my mouth was deciding to stutter on me. At the end of the day, people should be allowed to do the things that they enjoy and all of that as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. And it's that sense of individuality, but like why, like what part of us and this is where I want to leave off with, what part of us in being social creatures has led to that part of us wanting to show ourselves to the rest of the world. With that being said, I'll leave it off with that, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.